This is Hypertext Hierarchy, Project 3, 15 puzzle game using JavaScript. Statement of problem. For our third project, we have decided to implement a 15 puzzle using JavaScript. Here's a little bit about 15 puzzle. American puzzle author and mathematician Sam Lloyd is often falsely credited with creating the puzzle. Lloyd claimed from 1891 till his death in 1911 that he invented the puzzle. The puzzle was originally created around 1874 by Noyes Palmer Chapman, a postmaster in New York. And here were some of our general requirements. 15 tile puzzle board with a shuffle algorithm, and we had to incorporate 4 extra features, and here were our 4 extra features. Intro page, multiple backgrounds, a win notification, and a win animation.
For our solutions, we decided to make an intro page with an animation, which leads to the rules page, which describes to the users the rules of the game. The rule page then leads to the game board page. So the game board displays a random background on load, and the user has the option to use the select drop-down menu to change a different background. Each individual square in the game board is bound to the class tile, and the class tile has 16 different IDs, and this binds the tile element to the part of the background so that you can shuffle the different background. So the div elements are shuffled using a random number generator, and as the user clicks a tile, we use animations to translate the specific tile across the board by defining the possible moves. We use the animations to translate the div elements across the page to simulate the board movements. When the user has finally finished shuffling the div elements into their original position, it triggers the function to check for the win. And this function, it checks for the win, and then if it's true, it triggers the win animation and win notification. So, next. And this is our game board. I chose to do these castle backgrounds, and on the bottom I have this shuffle button, and it has hover effects that change when you hover over it. And then also the game board also has a hover effect where it's like a page turning. I just thought it looked cool. So that's how the game board works. And then I'm going to hand it off to Alexandria to describe her extra credit features.
Okay, so for this feature, I created 2 pages. One is an intro page. The second page is what follows the intro page, which leads into the rules. For the intro page, I used a WebKit gradient to kind of give that kind of gradient feel to the background. I used CSS animations and timing to time how everything came up on the screen, including a blur fade in feature, as well as a fade in rotate feature with keyframes that actually handle that. The idea behind this was I wanted to kind of give the game that feel of how sometimes you have those commercials and they kind of like that "Are you ready?" type feel. So that was the idea behind the creation of this. Once it goes into the rules page, it's just a general slide in that shows a little bit about the game and how you play it, as well as a question to how fast you think you can solve the game. And then finally, it has a link to actually go into the game itself. That was also used with nothing but HTML and CSS functions as well. Next. So here is some of the code with the class for the frames that I use to break down everything as far as timing, as well as it shows you how I created the background gradient, the way it looks, and the blur fade in and out is also there with some of the timing that I used for that container. Next.
So here are the backgrounds I chose. I chose these castle backgrounds because I think they're pretty. And these are the backgrounds that we use for the game board. And the user can use the select drop-down menu to choose the one that they like the best. Also, when the user wins the game, it passes the URL of the castle image to the function, and it populates the background with the castle function, as well as giving the user a win animation. So here's my code that I did for the select box. And when we're doing our demo, I will also show you the JavaScript that I use so that I could pass the castle URL as a parameter to the function. And I'm going to hand this victory notification and animation off to.
All right, so I worked on the end game notification and win animation. For the end of game notification, as soon as the user moves the last tile into place, the background of the page will change to the castle image that was selected for the puzzle. And also the word victory will be animated onto the screen, and a button will appear, allowing the user to start a new game if they choose so. Next. Here's the JavaScript code for adding on the victory animation. Next. Here's the CSS keyframe for the animation, as well as the styling for the header and button. Next.
So James, do you want to tell everybody what you did for the project?
Oh, for this project, I just worked on the two extra features, the win animation and the win notification or end of game notification.
And Daniel Thomas was in charge of the PowerPoint presentation. Stephanie Rimmel worked on the puzzle board as well as the multiple backgrounds extra feature. And Alexandria Lightning worked on the intro page extra feature.
Oh, for the team roles, I'm Stephanie, and I was the team leader. And I also helped Alexandria just with designing, choosing the colors, and other effects, and working on the JavaScript function for doing the board and for moving the tiles. And I also did the nav bar, and then so James acted as the user. So we pretended that we were designing this project for him so that we could fulfill his specific requirements. And then Daniel was the tester, and he tested by checking the HTML and different browsers. And he also checked to make sure all of the styling was correct by like resizing his browser to check and make sure that everything resizes and works well. And then me and Alexandria, we also collaborated together to come up with some styling and designing ideas. And Alexandria did all of the animations and coding for the intro and the rules page so that you can translate the rules across the screen. And so it's stylish and it looks cool and, you know, kind of gets the user excited about the game that they're about to play. Does anybody have anything else they want to add about their contributions?
No, we're good. We can see the demo.
We can move on to the gameplay.
Okay, so yeah, next we're gonna do the demo. And I'm going to share my browser. If I can find it. Okay. All right, so here we are. This is our intro page that Alexandria did. So then it's got the name of our group, and then it's got this cool little button that has this cool hover effect that changes colors. And then it leads to this page, which is the rules page that Alexandria did. So it says the goal of the 15 puzzle is to unjumble its 15 squares by repeatedly making moves that slide squares into the empty spaces. How quickly can you solve it? Click here to find out. So I'm going to click. And here is the game board page. So first of all, I did this nav bar up here. So it has this cool drop down, which takes takes us all to our specific web pages that we have made for this class. And then here we have this is the select background drop down menu that I made. So here's the first castle. Here is the second castle. Here is the third castle. And here is the fourth castle. So I'm going to click my little shuffle button here. I did this little hover effect, which I thought is cool. It sort of like looks like bubbles. So I'm going to click shuffle. And on click of the shuffle button, it shuffles all of these div elements around using that random number generator with JavaScript. And then, so for the gameplay, I defined the possible moves that you can make. Like for instance, we have this empty tile here, but so we can move all of these tiles, these 3 tiles, but it can only go like, left or right, and this one can only go, so it can't move up or down or whatever because it's not possible to move there. So we had to define those so that we could bind our animations to it. And basically, because it takes so long to finish the whole entire game, like probably take like maybe like 15 minutes or something. But when you finish it, it triggers the win animation and it populates the background with the castle image. And then it has a dialog box that pops up and says victory. And it prompts you if you want to play the game again. So now I'm going to move on to the code part of this in my IDE. So I'm going to share in PHP Storm really quick. So here's PHP. Can you guys see it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So here is all of our code. I'm just going to walk you through how we did this. So we've got 15 JavaScripts. This is the JavaScript functions that we use for the gameplay and for doing the background. So let me just go through so I can show you. Oh wait, this is the wrong one. This is for fireworks. Here's 15. Okay, so so basically here's how I defined the moves right here. And then I defined all the backgrounds. And then we get element by ID for the tiles. And then this is for a hover animation that I did. And then here is a function which initializes the game. And on our 15 puzzle game board site, we do body on load, and then we initialize the game so that it's initialized as soon as we open up the HTML document. And so here is our change background so that we can take the castle backgrounds as a parameter and change them. And here is our shuffle board. So it does a random, it generates a random number, and it populates, it moves the tiles around the board randomly so that it's shuffled. And then after it's completed, it displays the board. And then here for the displaying of the board, this is
You
what,
hit 15.
and then here we animate the movements and we swap the pieces. And then we check for the wins. And then here, Alexandra, you want to talk about your rules page and the intro?
We're actually at over 15, so we're fine.
Yeah.
You can cut this off like the end.
Okay, cool. So that's it. We're gonna end the recording. Thank you very much for watching our presentation.